Hey y'all, welcome back to the virtual world of Second Life. Let's go ahead and check this costume out before we begin. If y'all can't guess from the back, hopefully y'all can from the front. I'm Big Bird. She cute, right? So this is one of the costumes that I definitely wanted to wear last Halloween, but it just did not work out like that. So these are some cute little heels. You know we love a good red bottom. So first things first, thank y'all for 1,000 supporters. This means something to me, y'all. I am so excited to be able to share this journey with y'all. Just thank y'all so much for supporting me and just really rocking with me throughout this whole entire journey, y'all. This Second Life journey has been amazing. When I tell y'all, absolutely amazing. And every single day I do kick myself in the butt because I'm like, you could have been doing this. You could have been doing this, but you were scared. But it's okay because you know what? Everything happens for a reason and the timing is always going to be perfect for me. So I definitely felt like when I dropped down, this land was a beautiful land to do to celebrate the 1,000 subscriber mark, because this land is beautiful and vast, much like my supporters. You know, y'all are the absolute best. This land is beautiful. I did take a little bit of a peek around just to look at the size of it to make sure that that was going to be enough for us to go and venture around, and I saw a couple spots that I am interested in actually being able to get like a closer look at. So yeah, you know, this is going to be fun. It's so funny because I often imagine like what it would be like to actually get to this point, because if y'all don't know, I've been at this for a long time of a lot of trial and error of, in my opinion, getting it wrong until I actually got it right. And so I was telling myself, like, you know what, I'm gonna feel like this when I hit the 1,000 subscribers. I'm gonna feel like this, and it's gonna mean this to me, and it's gonna mean that to me. And when I tell you, it means so much more, and it feels so surreal, more than I could have ever like imagined that it would feel. And I think that's funny because, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you think you know until you know, and then you realize that you really don't know. Before I really started posting Second Life content, I spent so much time just sitting with myself, very apprehensive about showing this side of my life. I talked about before in like some other videos about how I did carry like a bit of shame, and I think it was because I just didn't realize how absolutely vast the quote unquote like virtual world of gaming community was, and just that any and all walks of life were, you know, in the gaming community. And so I felt apprehensive about being a girl gamer, and I felt apprehensive about showing like Second Life and about just the things that went on in Second Life, simply because Second Life is not, look how beautiful this is. Second Life is not like any other virtual world that you will come across on the internet, in my opinion. It's nothing like any of the other games that I could even think of. The only thing is just that it's virtual, I guess. That's like the only thing that I feel like it has in common with like any of these other spaces where people do come online to game. And so for me, I was just very apprehensive about how that will be received, and if what I'd like to do in Second Life would even be something that would be enjoyable to people. Because as you guys have noticed, when I go to a lot of these lands, there are people, but it pales in comparison to the actual amount of people that are actually on Second Life. So I've always been like, I don't know if people know like this side of Second Life exists, look how pretty she is, or if it's just a situation where people know that this side of Second Life exists, but they just don't know how to find these places. So I wanted to be that person that showed people like, look at all of these like super cool places that you can go to in Second Life and you can really enjoy. This type of stuff is my bread and butter. Being an introvert, it gives me the ability to really be able to explore and not have to feel like I quote unquote have to entertain. I'm using air quotes as I'm saying that. Even though what I do is definitely a form of entertainment, I do have a lot of like anxiety about like if it was something where I'm like, okay, you guys come on, we're all gonna get together and we're gonna do this every Tuesday, we're gonna come together and we're gonna explore. I feel like that would cause me way more anxiety than this. This is something that I find like thoroughly enjoyable, and I get to share it in the way that I want to share it, and I get to explore it the way that I like to explore it. And so that really like opened up a lot of possibilities to me. This teacup is so cute, and it's confusing because it looks like a teacup here, but then it looks like an alarm clock here. So maybe it's like a hybrid. I feel like it's so easy to just put yourself in a box based on what you feel like you should be doing, or what you feel like other people like you are doing, or other people who like the type of things that you like are doing. And I just feel like that is like the quickest way to really stunt your growth. And I feel like that is what I have done throughout these years, is really just try to like put myself in a box. Put myself in a box. And I was just like, people probably are not going to want to see this, but it was definitely one of those things. Look how cool this treehouse is. It definitely was one of those things where I was just like, you know what? This is something that I enjoy, and I want to share it. And that's just that. And so that's exactly what I did. And it was at that point when it was almost immediate that I started getting like traction with the channel. So it really just taught me that there's going to be a space for everyone, and there are going to be things that everyone find interesting. And so it's just like, just post the content. And it's so crazy because so often you will see creators, and they will literally just say, just post the content, don't worry about what it is, don't worry about what people are gonna think, just post the content. And it really is the truth. When I tell you, I get so much fulfillment what is that out here? I get so much fulfillment just going on these tours and looking at all of these beautiful things and being able to just post it. And I don't feel no type of way about editing and stuff like that, because I'm like, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that I want to share. And it really just boils down to just like posting the content. I love that everyone's journey on YouTube is so different. Some things go slow for them. Some things go a little bit faster, some things go a little bit medium, some things have nice little highs and lows, y'all. So for me, it's the weekend. My son is loudy on his game, so I don't know if y'all hear it, but if y'all do, just excuse him. So I really love the way it's kind of like an up and down type thing, where you really get to enjoy the journey. You really get to like enjoy the roller coaster that is social media, where it's like some days are gonna be better than others, but all days are gonna be great. And the greatness of your days on social media, it definitely is dependent on whether or not you decide, look how beautiful it is, whether or not you decide to actually take the time to see the beauty in what you're doing. From the moment I started creating content on social media, that deer is so pretty, I definitely grew a large respect for content creators, because this is not, it's not easy peasy lemon squeezy as a lot of people would like to try to portray it to be, or like people who are actually on the outside looking in when it comes to social media may think that it is. It's not. It's as easy as you make it. And then even then, this is a beautiful chess set. I want to learn how to play chess. My brother knows how, and when I get to my parents' house, I am going to talk to him about teaching me how to play chess, because I want to learn. I really do feel like when you are somebody that's on the outside looking in when it comes to content creation, it looks easy, but I feel like that's a testament to how well the content creators are at creating their content, where they make you think that it's easy to do, but it's really not. It's not easy. It's not difficult, depending on the type of content that you're making. It can be something that's just tedious, but it does take skill, and it does take effort. And so I feel like a lot of times people will be like, oh, all you're doing is just picking up a camera. It's like, yeah, but there are also other elements that go into it. It's also, you have to actually think out what you're going to do and understand what you're doing and why you're doing it and stuff like that. And then there are some times where you'll have a little bit easier content. I do feel like my content is more on the relaxed side of social media, and I do appreciate that, because I don't want to do anything hard. I don't like stuff like that. And so for me, I really do enjoy it, but it's like you have to find a location. And so in Second Life, that is easier said than done a lot of the times, because the lands have to look a certain type of way for me to even feel like this is something that I want to bring to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't just go to a land and be like, okay, this is a land, let's go see it. No, the lands that I take you guys to, it's very strategic. They're very strategic lands with a certain type type of feel because I want to be able to bring that type of feel to y'all. I want y'all to be able to pick up on that. And that's the reason why when it comes to certain things, I'm big on like the aesthetic of it. There are a lot of beautiful lands in Second Life. Beautiful lands in Second Life, in my opinion, are not difficult to come by. But then when you get into like the cohesiveness of a land, or the color scheme of the land, or the theme of a land, and that's why when it does come to like holidays and stuff like that, for me, I'm like, it has to be more than just snow, because I want us to really be able to go on like a journey when we go to these lands. So I put a costume on because you know what, it was Halloween time and I didn't really get into my Halloween bag the way that I wanted to, but it was other stuff going on. But I'm like, listen, somebody finna see these outfits, somebody finna see them, and it's gonna be y'all. And so I feel like when it comes to the content, there's so many different aspects that go into it, and I definitely feel like y'all pick up on that, because when I read the comments, y'all will definitely hone in on certain things, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what, y'all get it. And that's the reason why I rock with y'all so hard, because I'm like, y'all really get me. Like, y'all really get me. Y'all really get the content. Y'all really sit back and enjoy the content. I get a lot of people who have no idea what Second Life is. They've never heard of Second Life, never been in Second Life. They've never seen an avatar like mine or an avatar period. And they're like, but you know what? I like your content. I really do. We like your content. We like your vibe. The biggest thing for me is the compliments, not the cranberry sauce, not the OG cranberry sauce. Now, y'all might want to tussle, but I don't like this cranberry sauce. I don't. I like this cranberry sauce. It's just something about those tart cranberries, just like biting into, it's gonna do it for me every time. Every time it's gonna do it for me. But it's a lot of people that like the cranberry sauce jellied. Y'all give me a lot of compliments on my voice. And when I tell y'all, I've made several videos about this. When I tell y'all, I have had a big damn problem with my voice all my life. When I say all my life, all my life. And it definitely was something that I made something out of, because nobody has ever told me, nobody has ever commented on my voice ever. And so when I got into social media and I started like recording the videos and listening to myself, I'm like, damn, your voice kind of deep. And I'm like, okay, shit, you know. And it's one of those things that, because for so long I was pitching up my voice, it doesn't matter how much I try to pitch it up. If I'm talking for a certain amount of time, my actual voice is going to come out. And so to come here and to record these videos and y'all compliment me on something that forever, I can't even say for a long time, for as long as I can remember, has been a really, really, really big insecurity, if you will, of mine. I'm just like, who knew? My voice definitely wasn't something that was a favorite part of me. And now I'm just, you know, I get to appreciate my voice even more and be like, you know what? It's different. And what's so funny is I was on TikTok, and it was like this whole entire thread full of people who were talking about how they don't talk in their regular voice and how they were going to start talking in their regular voices, and all of their voices were deeper than the voice that they were normally using. And I was just like, is that a part of code switching? I don't know. I feel like there are probably so many people that are faking their actual voice that it may give people some type of insecurity, because you hear everybody talking with this up-pitched voice and then not realizing that a lot of them are doing that on damn purpose, and that just about every damn body probably sound like you. And so for me, I feel like that was so enlightening, just to kind of like see and be like, y'all know how I feel about these goddamn rodents. It was just really nice to actually like hear about people or see people actively starting to be like, you know, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to talk in my regular voice. This is my regular voice, and I don't care if people have a problem with it or not. This is my voice. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of having like an uptick in my voice and stuff like that when that's actually not how I talk. I feel like that does create more insecurity, in my opinion, because I feel like it's an easy way to kind of make yourself really not be pleased with your actual voice, because you're so used to sounding a different type of way than what you actually sound like. You know, we're going to say that these are possums because this is not gonna upset me. Okay, look how pretty this is. So yeah, so it's a lot of things that just having this channel, y'all have really helped me with in such a major way. And that's why I'm just like always so thankful for y'all. And I definitely thank y'all for that, for the beautiful comments, for all the kind words, for just the interactions. This naked cake looks delicious. It is very perfectly imperfect, and y'all know I love it. Just shining a light on the channel as a whole and being so supportive through and through, all of the shares and the things like that. Like when I see how many times my video has been shared, and then all the nice comments, and then you guys are actually like asking questions about stuff. I'm gonna have somebody ask me today like, what were the specs on my computer? And I was like, you know what, I have gotten a question like that before. I got a question like that before a while back. And so because the majority of the time I do film on my PC, but I also have filmed on my laptop, I was just like, oh, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take these specs down and I'm gonna save them just in case anybody else asks. And so for me, I feel like that's just a testament to the viewing experience. When I bring these tours to y'all, it's like, you know what, you like what you're saying, well, you like, you know, what kind of specs you got? Because when I come on, I want to be able to do it a certain type of way, and I want to be able to have the type of experience that you have, or even better. And I always feel like, and I still do, and I think that I always will, the quality that I bring to y'all, it is still crisper in Second Life when you're actually in here. And I do feel like that just shows you how wonderful the graphics are. And I feel like that's what's most encapsulating to me when it comes to Second Life, is just the graphics. The graphics really just like, the graphics really make you feel like you're here. And I feel like the better the graphics are, the better the experience is. And so when I tell you, when I first came to Second Life, it was, I would dare argue that the average person that comes to Second Life for the very first time, you do have a moment where it does become a bit addictive. It does become a bit addictive. And I think for me, it was just like, he looked mad as hell. He got dish duty. I feel like for me, it was just the beauty of everything. And you want to look at everything, and you want to see everything, and you want to go everywhere. And then once you realize that there really are no bounds to what you can do or who you can be in Second Life, I feel like that in itself is what just makes it such a wonderful place. The way that people treat you in Second Life, and I'm just speaking from the space that I dwell in, I feel like if the world could have like the outside of Second Life, if the world could have just like a bit of that, it would be a better place. When I tell you the way, don't nobody care about what you look like. When I tell you don't nobody care about the way that you look like, there will always be some who got something to say about something, because that's just how, you know, it is. These are still people, and so everybody's not gonna have nothing to say. But in my opinion, like the spaces that I've dwelled in, like the vast majority of people, they do not care. They do not care. It is a space where you can really just wholeheartedly express yourself however you feel. When I tell you, there's been many times where people have got in my box and they're like, they've messaged me like, what are you? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, that's a very good question. From the neck down, one could assume. But from the neck up is definitely something to be questioned, because you can look at me and be like, a woman, okay, you know, but what's going on with her? Is she alive? Is she not alive? Is she alien? What's happening with her? Then she has the ears, and it's just like, it's like a little bit of tattoos, but not a lot of tattoos, and there are veins everywhere, and there are bruises, and there's this going on, and there's that going on. But then it's like, but then she has cute outfits on, you know, and she's friendly to talk to. And so it's different things like that, where it's just like, you really can, you can be whoever you want to be, or you can be something that you don't even know what it is. And nobody is going to be like, why would you be that? Unless you're just being like racist or something like that. People do not really be tripping. Like, there was a time where the bodybuilders, people had something to say about like the bodybuilders, or the like, this is a beautiful painting. Or maybe like the avatars that had like like wildly exaggerated features and things like that. But I feel like even now in 2025, people are just like, some people be doing that. And I just love that. Like, that is one of like the biggest things that I love about being in Second Life, is just like how people will really, they leave you alone. They let you do what you gonna do, and that's that. You get desensitized to so much stuff, and I think that's funny. You get desensitized to seeing people naked. You get desensitized to seeing people just be hella inappropriate. Like, being totally honest, you really do get desensitized to that, because it does happen so often. Because Second Life is a place for adults, you expect there to be adult things going on, but I think once you actually get here and you realize how the adult things be that be going on, I feel like that just will kind of like pique your interest even more. And so for me, I love the environment. I love the people. I'm still very much so an introvert. And so when I tell y'all, it is, my avatar will attract people who want to have like conversations with me, and I do love that. But I'm still working on trying to kind of like come out of my shell when it does come to like talking to people and stuff like that. I'm very much so a keep it in Second Life type of girl, but I also don't think that it's a bad thing to kind of just like give a little bit of insight on some parts of your real life, not just like the big parts or any part that you would deem to be big, or just like every little thing that you got going on and stuff like that. But I don't think it's like a horrible thing if somebody asks you something and it kind of is more related to like real life than Second Life. Sometimes people just want to know like what makes you tick, why do you do this, or why do you do that, or why did you like this, or why do you like that, why do you like being in Second Life by yourself? Is it because you don't get a lot of alone time in real life, or is it just because you get alone time in real life and you also want to transition that over to Second Life as well? So I'm getting out of my shell when it comes to stuff like that, but I'm still just like very apprehensive about that. And I feel like it's gonna be, it's a learning experience through and through. And I'm very much open to it, even though I'm still kind of closed. I'm still kind of closed off about it. But you know what? It is baby steps. And so as I am continuing to learn how to open up a little bit more and be a little bit more, talkative with people and things like that, I'm just really glad that I get to experience this with y'all and grow with y'all. And it's just such a beautiful journey, and I'm so glad that I get to share with y'all. So thanks again for 1,000 supporters. And yeah, you guys, I really truly appreciate y'all.